super excited. It is a new year. We are getting all ready and prepared for a new year. So we thought, why not sit down and tell you guys our process of preparing for a new year. Now, before we even get started with a new year, we like to sit down and make a brain dump list. If you've never heard of a brain dump list is taking everything that's on your mind and putting it onto paper. I mean, I sometimes will do it on my iPad or my phone, but basically getting everything out of your mind and onto paper so you can visually see all the things you're thinking about. So we like to do that, just thinking about the new year, thinking about all of our goals and all the things we want to plan and do. And then we kind of get together and we read the Bible and pray. We are Christians, so biggest goal in life is serving God. So we just want to make sure that whatever we plan for the new year, our heads are straight and thinking about what God would want for our lives for this year and that we're on the same page. That is tip number 1.
All right, y'all. So point number 2, now that you got your brain dump and everything's on paper or on your iPad or your computer or whatever, now that you kind of got it all in line and you're in agreement with each other, what we do is we come up with kind of a motto or a word, something that we can go back to throughout the year and remind ourselves, like, what is our mission this year? What's our vision this year? So this year it was quality over quantity, and I'll let Tiff explain it more. She came up with it and we both liked it.
So quality over quantity. When we were sitting down and praying and thinking about last year and this year and the ups and downs of all of it, we realized that we just really wanted more quality time with our family, with each other,
With the
Lord. I feel like we've been so busy and things have been just going so fast that we haven't had any actual quality time with individual people and God, and we just really want to get back to that quality time with each other. With our kids, a lot of people will ask, you have so many kids, how do you make sure that they all get heard and seen and you spend time with them and everything? And we don't always get quality time with all of them. The quality time is just sitting and being available to listen, and that's where the quality time comes from. And when we are overwhelmed with all of the busyness and everything, we don't have time to stop and just listen to our kids. That's where we're missing out on that relationship time. And one of the most important things that we really wanted to focus on this year is just our quality time with the Lord. Really, we're focusing on the scripture, Romans 12:2, and I'll let Josh kind of go into that a little bit more.
This is kind of a life verse for us, but it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. So basically, in a nutshell, there's a world out there that is telling our kids to act this way, accept this, be this way, do this. And it's very contrary to how we're raising our kids. So there's a whole culture out there that's very difficult to navigate through.
Especially with teenagers.
Yeah, especially with iPhones. This thing has everything at your fingertips that we didn't have access to as kids. Now it's like you don't have to try. You just log into this thing and you go nuts. To give a 14-year-old that power, how do they navigate this world? And that's where we're at. And it's that life verse right there is, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, what are you renewing your mind with? And for us being Christian, there should be God's word, right? Like we should be rooted in God's word, spending quality time with him. One thing that we're trying to do to train our kids up, because we're not as intentional because of just the busyness. I usually take the kids to school every morning. And one thing that I've tried to integrate into that ride to school is to get in the scripture with them. So we'll listen to a book out of the Bible or a chapter out of the Bible, and we'll just discuss it and we'll ask questions. It's being intentional and trying to have that quality time.
Oakley's joining us because he is extremely scared of the fireworks that just went off next door. So we're going to work through this because this is real life. Now that we have our vision, now that we are on the same page, now that we have a motto, we're going to start reflecting on what happened last year, things that we really like, things that we want to change so we can implement them into the new year. We like to pick only about 3 things to change to bring with us into the new year. These are going to be the main things that we focus on, and we don't want to overwhelm ourselves or set us up for failure. It needs to be just attainable things that we can really focus on and work on into the new year.
3 attainable and achievable goals, right?
Yes.
All right, before we move on to point number 4, if you guys want us to go in more depth on any of these points, drop a comment below and just let us know. Point number 4 is our budget. Everybody, in our opinion, benefits from a budget. We personally have been really good at budgeting in the past, and then lately been really bad at budgeting. One quick change that we made towards the end of last year was we switched our budgeting app. So we went from one called YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget. We used that one for the last few years, and it just wasn't really working for us. It seemed to always be kind of confusing how it balanced out. So towards the end of last year, we went to Personal Capital. So yes. That's a free app. So far, we like it. It doesn't let you, or at least we haven't figured out, and if anybody knows how to do this, drop a comment below that uses it. But on Personal Capital, under the budgeting software, it doesn't let you put in transactions before they clear your bank.
Like you can't go in and be like, oh, I just went to Target and spent $20.
Yeah.
I'll go put it in right now so that I don't have to go check it and put it in the right category later.
Yeah.
You have to wait till the personal capital brings it up and sees it from your bank, and then you can go and assign it to which category it needs to go to.
So that's one thing that we don't like, but there's a lot of things that we do like about personal capital. So again, if you want to see more in depth on how we do our budget, the software, any of that kind of stuff, just drop a comment below. Budget.
That's hot.
Hey, you're gonna burn yourself.
The dog is like literally trying to lick the fire. No, go.
Come here, bud.
Wait, no. Because we homeschooled for the last 10 years, until 2 years ago, we stopped homeschooling. Thankfully able to stay home with them to homeschool them, but we lived off of one income, which was Josh's income. We are still currently living off of Josh's income. We don't get paid anything from YouTube. We are not monetized yet. We also don't have brand deals or anything that we make money off of. So we are living solely off of just Josh's income. So we have to make sure that we are very strategic with how we plan our money. We do have 6 kids. So at this point, we sit down and we talk about what do we want to spend our money on this year? What kinds of things do we want to do for our anniversaries? What do we want to do for birthdays? Any vacations that we want to take? We need to plan them now. We'll usually do one family vacation, and then we'll usually do one vacation for just us, because we definitely need that time to get away. And if we end up spending a lot more on maybe the vacation that we take with just Josh and I, like we just recently did when we went on our cruise to celebrate our 20th anniversary, we're not going to be spending as much money on our trip with our family this year. We might go camping or something, or maybe go on a local ski trip or something like that.
I don't know, maybe it's just because we have a lot of kids, like 6 kids is a lot. We have to do that. We have to get away and recharge and refresh, because otherwise we just burn out.
Definitely make sure you take time out to do your budget, update your budget, get current on everything you've been spending, make categories for each subject that you're spending things on, and that way you can track it throughout the year. That way you can make sure that you are spending your money wisely, because that is such a huge cause of tension in marriages and families, and can definitely keep you from doing the things that you want to do and love. The next thing on our list that is my favorite part to do is start doing your planning. Now we have our budget all set, we have our vision all set, we know what we want to bring into the new year. Now we got to start planning the new year. So what Josh and I usually do is we'll have a planning meeting, just the 2 of us first, and then we'll have a planning meeting with all of the kids. The reason why we do the planning meeting with just us first is because, well, we're the ones with the money and the budget. So we're the ones who need to, sit down and talk about what can we do, what can we afford. One of the big money sucks in our family is sports. We have our 6 kids. They all play sports. We have decided we're going to limit each of our kids to 2 recreational sports a year, except for Tobin, who's going to be playing hockey because the season's so long. That's just like one thing. That's your thing, man. You're focused on that. You don't get any other chances. If he decides he wants to play other sports later on, he can take a break from hockey. We as a family like to go snowboarding and skiing, and we have a place up north that my parents own that we can go and stay at when we want to go. And the resort that we go to, they have really great deals. So sometimes we'll get the season passes. This year, because Josh and I knew that we were going to be going on a trip for us for our 20th anniversary, and we knew the kids wanted to try some of the winter recreational sports here that are local, we decided we would not get passes this year. Caleb did still get a pass though, because that's his only sport. Actually, you know what? I think he paid for it himself anyway, so he has a job. He's got his own thing going. That's kind of how we divvy up the sports, and then we start talking about what kinds of things we want to do and accomplish this year. One
thing I'll say about sports too is we've been involved with our kids' sports for many years. Like I think I've coached all of my kids all the way up through pretty much high school. And that's in football, baseball, hopefully hockey here with Tobin, getting into hockey. But what I would encourage, especially dads, please listen to me, dads out there, or men out there, even if you're not a dad, get involved into youth sports and coach these kids, because I can't tell you how many kids come from really rough backgrounds, bad family lives, broken homes. But I'm telling you, these kids, especially in boys sports, are looking for men to be leaders in their lives. So they're looking for role models, they're looking for examples. So please, get involved in your local sports programs, coach these kids. And the really cool thing is, like, you get to bond with your kid and their friends, because most of the time they're going to make friends on those teams. And so now you get to know their friends, they get to know you, they trust you because you're the coach or an assistant coach, and you get to spend time with your kids. So it's, again, quality over the quantity. You get to spend quality time because you're coaching your kid out on the field, and you're spending more time with them, and you're involved in something that they love doing. So if your kid loves baseball and you like baseball, boom, you go out there, you have fun, you teach, and they learn. and you bond.
Okay, so the next thing that we do is we sit down with our kids, with our whole family, and we start planning it all out. We say, okay, what do we want to do for our vacations? What does each person want to do for their birthdays? What is each kid's sports that they want to play? And I like to get some hot cocoa, cookies, brownies, something that really draws them in. And we like to keep this meeting very short because, they don't have the longest attention span, but we just want to all be on the same page.
And we have a video where we did that for the summer.
Yes.
So we'll link that below. That was where we had the kids put up our, what do we call it, the bucket list for what we wanted to do for the summer break. And then we all discussed it with the kids.
If you guys want to go and see kind of how we do that kind of a planning thing, you can look at that. We like to do this kind of a meeting at the beginning of the year always. And then we like to do it either quarterly or monthly. But after you're done planning it all out with your family, now it's time to kind of start really putting that stuff into motion, start figuring out how am I going to stay focused throughout the year. I have 3 different things that we like to kind of do that keeps our focus throughout the year. So I bought Josh and I a new calendar this year, but I wanted to get a good calendar so that we can visually see what's going on every month. So that will be definitely helpful for our year rather than just having it on our phones. Another thing that I like to use just for us and the kids is a weekly schedule that I just hang right over the kids' backpacks so that everybody can see it and get an idea of what's happening that week. It's visual, works really well. So another thing is I like to make a vision board. Now, not everybody's all about the vision board thing, and I actually haven't done vision boards very often in the past, but I did one this year. I'll show you guys what it looks like. But I absolutely love my vision board because it has some verses on it, it has quotes on it, things that help remind me of my focus for the year. It has some inspirational and aesthetically pleasing things that I can see so that every time I need to be reminded of what my goals are this year, I'll be able to look at that. And I keep it on my desktop as my wallpaper so that as I'm working and things like that, I can just look over at it and it gets me all excited about the year.
I really thought it was a cool idea because I don't typically do those either, but I just saw the value in it, especially being on your workspace because you're on your computer working and it's like the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
So you're constantly like seeing it.
If you're interested in where I made mine is the website Canva to basically build it. And then I just went and found different things that I liked off of Pinterest, and you could just download the image and then save it to your iPad or whatever, put it onto your Canva, download it onto there, and then make it into your vision board. Super, super easy to do.
So one other thing that we all have is iPhones. The one good thing that comes about is shared calendars. Google has calendars too, you can share, which is nice. But with the iPhone, we just set up a family calendar and then we add, sports to it. So if somebody has a game or a practice, we're all on the same page. If somebody has school projects due, that can be added. So it just keeps us all in sync and it's pretty handy. So the one thing that doesn't work is getting the kids to do it because they always
forget. That's what I was just going to say. So we're trying to get them into the habit of, hey, right when you find out you have a practice or anything like that, put it into the family calendar. That way we can all see it. And the last thing is having a planner. If you are a busy mom, I'm sure you have a planner somewhere. I have found Notion. I love Notion. It is completely customizable. You can make a dashboard with everything important that you need. It has become the hub for everything that would be in my mind, everything for our schedule, doctor's visits, school stuff, YouTube, everything is in there. And I'll show you guys a little bit of what my dashboard looks like, but it wasn't too hard to figure out. There are YouTube videos that can show you how to go and input things. You can customize your board to whatever suits your lifestyle and what's going on in your life, but find somewhere that you can either write things down in a planner to have everything that's going on.
One thing that we live by is an app called Bark. And if you look at our channel's page, I think it's in the upper right on the banner, there'll be a little dog, like a blue dog. If you click on that, that's like our affiliate link where you can go and sign up for Bark. But if you have small kids, like we've been talking a lot about iPhones, we strictly monitor their usage. And Bark is really cool because it basically goes in and flags things, like if it's violent or if it's depression, bullying,
drug
even profanity. Like you can, you can set the parameter. But super cool app. Flag like videos, like say a friend shares a risky video with your son or daughter, it'll flag that video.
So I just like the fact that it does each individual app, but it also does all of your text messaging so they can see what's going on, because we do need to know what's going on. And even if you've raised the best kids in the world, they might still have friends that are sending information that your kids don't want to be a part of, and it brings up an opportunity to talk about that. Hey, well, how do you feel about the way your friend's talking? How do you feel about these videos that your friend sent over? Is that something you want to be a part of? I know it's really hard to be the one that says, hey, I don't want to see those kind of videos, but you need to stand up to those kinds of things because I know your character is great and you don't want to see those. Now let's start working on standing up to other people.
It's not if your kid stumbles upon XYZ, it's when your kid stumbles upon XYZ, because they're going to be exposed to everything out there. So how do they handle it when they are exposed to it? And it frees up our time so we don't have to go like, hey, let me see your phone and scroll through 1,000
I feel like
texts.
that's more of an invasion of privacy, saying, give me your phone and let me look through it, because it just says, hey, I don't trust you, rather than, hey, we all want to be holding each other accountable. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Now that everything's all planned out, we've got schedules, we've got goals, we've got dreams. Now we're going to start getting all of the clutter in our life out of the way so that we can actually implement all of those goals and dreams and schedules, because we don't want to be held up in anxiety and stress because we didn't get anything done.
Got too much stuff.
Yes. So the first thing I like to do is go through all of my inbox type things and try to get rid of as much stuff as I can in there. For our emails, we like to go through all of that and get rid of all of the stuff in our emails. If you have notes or something on your phone, get rid of all of those extra notes that you took over Christmas. I had like a million. One was like this shopping list, that shopping list, what I still need to buy for Christmas. Get rid of all that stuff so it's not in the way. And then you want to go through your phone and try to get rid of as many photos and videos that you can that are just taking up space on your phone that you don't really need. You could also take a lot of those photos and things and turn them into a photo book or make like a cool video collage. I know on iPhone, if you go to the For You tab, it'll make a little video of different things in different seasons in your life. You could save those. And if you have maybe a screensaver on your TV or one of those, it's a picture photo frame thing that you can like scroll pictures on and things, that would be a great place to put that. But being able to utilize all those pictures and everything, having them in your phone forever, what are you gonna do with those? So get rid of all of that, make room for a new year of new pictures and new memories. And also going back to your emails, I like to take that time to get rid of what I don't need, and also so that my inbox is nice and cleaned out. Anything that I do need to hold on to, I'll start categorizing them and putting them into folders so they're out of the way. Okay, so the next thing on our list is to start decluttering things. One of the biggest things is trying to declutter your closet. I like to go through my closet, and instead of making a decision on each individual piece of clothing, I like to go through and make outfits. If there's an odd shirt sitting around in there that you're like, oh, I really love this shirt, but you know you're never gonna wear it with anything, get rid of it. It's a great shirt and all, but it's gonna have to go with somebody else's wardrobe because it doesn't fit into yours. We need to pick out clothes that we feel good and comfortable in, because everybody's body is beautiful the way God made it. And if you can find something that makes you feel good in it, you're gonna be more successful and you're gonna feel good, and you're not gonna be comparing yourself to anybody else. Sell some of your clothes that you have. I think ThredUp and things like that, you can go on and just sell your clothes that you're not wearing. Use that money to turn around and buy something new that you feel good in. Another thing to start decluttering is around your house. I cannot tell you how many things that we have going on in our house that we need to declutter and organize.
Especially after Christmas.
Oh yeah. And number one is our garage that we're going to be doing this weekend, because we need to put all the Christmas stuff away. But that's a huge project. I don't recommend picking out all these huge projects. Start planning and picking small chunks of things that could take maybe a half an hour or so that you can organize. I'm going to do the bottom cupboards in my kitchen. I'm going to just do my one bathroom drawer, or I'm going to do the junk drawer. Start making plans to start decluttering things and put it in your planner. Make a day of when I'm going to do this on Thursday at 3 o'clock. I know that I'm not going to have to do anything at this time, so I'm going to go and declutter the drawer in the living room, whatever it is. But if you don't put it into your planner, then it's never going to get done. It's just an idea of something you want to do. Make sure you're planning it. Make sure you have an idea of what you want to get done.
All right, so one other point that we wanted to cover is to try to pick a day of the week, and make it consistent where you can actually do all these things, right? Like your budget. For us, we try to do like a budget meeting weekly, but then have an actual big date where we go out, have like a beer, maybe a meal, and we actually discuss our budget longer, like in more depth, I guess.
So the weekly budget is more like we're just catching up with all of the
spends,
what we've spent, and making sure we accounted it to every category.
Yeah. So we're just kind of truing it up together. But then on the monthly meeting, we're actually like discussing financial goals. Like, we spent way more than we made, or, hey, we have extra money. What do we do with it?
How did we do on groceries? We need to buy shoes for the kids. That's a big expense.
Yeah.
Our boys are all in men's size shoes. Yeah, wonderful. And another thing that's important that I do, that's mostly me because I do the grocery shopping and the meal planning and everything, is I like to make a plan for what we're going to be eating for the week. So all of our meals for the week, make sure we have everything for kids' lunches and breakfasts, and to do some meal prepping. So definitely put that into your schedule if you can, to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success for the week, that everything is already planned out. You don't have to have all this decision fatigue later in the week. Okay. So the very last thing that is, I think, very, very important as well, is to not forget to sit down with your family and celebrate all your successes. All the things that happened this last year that we were successful on. When we do... We stopped for a second because our kid was over there like choking on a Cheeto or something.
Cheeto.
When we sit down with all of our kids together, when we do our big meeting, I usually like to take each kid and have them say something that was great that they feel like they accomplished this last year, and then something that they want to work on for the future. And I think it's just really important to sit down and say, hey, what kinds of things do we feel proud of ourselves about? What kinds of things were we successful in? Because it motivates us to keep being successful. It helps us to be able to encourage each other and really sit and reflect on all the good things that happened the year before. Yeah, we've got some serious goals going on for this next year. So if you guys want to see what those are, please let us know in the comments below. We thank you so much for watching this video with us. I hope it helped you guys to gain some tips. If you guys learned anything from this, don't forget to hit that like button and let us know in the comments below too some of your guys' New Year's resolutions or goals that you have for the next year. We'd love to hear from you guys. We want to connect with you and hear what you guys have to say. So we're super excited for this next year, especially with YouTube and the content that we're going to be putting out. We hope you guys are too, and we hope you guys have a wonderful new year, and we'll see you in the next video.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Bye!
See ya!